for joining. MMA Prodigy, bro, answer the question. Why do you only take title defenses into account and not the featherweight career as a whole, where Aldo got smoked 4 times by every single other guy in contention? He got smoked by Alexander Volkanovski in his early 30s. He got smoked by Max Holloway in his early 30s, and he got smoked by Conor McGregor in 13 seconds. I can let that slide if it's Anderson Silva, but not even Anderson Silva at 38 got smoked that badly. So let's hear your answer.
Yeah, so sorry, can you just repeat yourself? I just got my connection to work.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is Aldo got smoked so many times in his early 30s, 4 times. And I said that maybe I could let that slide if we're talking about a 38-year-old Anderson Silva, but not even Anderson got smoked that badly so many times. Anderson was just getting beaten by decision.
Okay.
He had his little fluke injury. He was stunned like this, and he got caught. Aldo was just getting absolutely humiliated out there. So why do you only take into account the title reign? And I think that I'll just say this. I genuinely think that a lot of Aldo apologists do that, okay? Because they don't want to admit that Aldo got beaten in his prime, and they want to act like he was past his prime. No, his title reign came to an end because he wasn't good enough, okay?
So different fighters hit their primes at different points. For Glover, it was in his late 40s, right? For Kevin Lee, sure. Kevin Lee is past his prime. I mean, he just got knocked out and submitted inside a minute. You picked Kevin Lee to win that fight, and before that, he was struggling against an old Diego Sanchez. So different fighters hit their primes at different points. Aldo's prime was actually in the WEC. When you watch Faber versus Aldo in 2010, that was Aldo's prime, not years later against Conor McGregor. I mean, yeah, that was his first loss. That was his first real loss against Conor McGregor, but he was past his prime at that point. Different fighters passed their prime at different points, and for Aldo, it was in his early 30s. You know what I mean? I mean, the damage he had already been fighting long before that. For Cormier was able to still be competitive with Stipe in his early 40s because, you know, he started his fighting career so late. So,
but you do realize
just
that
a little bit long-winded. But different fighters hit their prime at different points.
Okay, fair enough. I agree. I will agree with this before you bounce and say that I agree with you as a whole. I agree with you.
I'm not going to bounce. I've been answering all your questions. You want to talk about Volkanovski has
hold on,
better title defenses than Aldo.
What you just said, just because you answered it didn't mean that you were correct.
Oh man, I'm sorry, man. You just I'm answering all your questions, and I'm stating facts, but it's just I don't get it.
No,
Sorry.
You're stating you're saying some things, but what you're saying that is wrong is that if someone's past their prime, we shouldn't judge them at all. So, for example, Jose Aldo past his prime. Should we just not count all the wins that he had as well? Like, what about Renato Moicano and Jeremy Stevens past his prime? Jose Aldo, we shouldn't look at that at all when we take. Prime. Okay, so his bantamweight career doesn't really mean much.
What's up?
So his bantamweight career doesn't really mean much.
It definitely talks to how good his longevity was, but I don't know. I mean,
my point is, just because you were past your prime does not necessarily mean that all of a sudden we can just completely forget about what you do. No, Max Holloway, you might be able to make the argument is sort of past his prime. He's still as elite as it gets. The guy's championship level caliber. So I'm still going to look at Max Holloway's career when he's taking out a guy like Yair or a young stud like Arnold Allen, and I'm going to count that towards his featherweight legacy. Okay? The only time I don't really care that much is if you're an old man that is completely done. And Aldo wasn't an old man. And you're acting like the man needed a cane. You're acting like, he was past his prime.
So you talked about why don't we
not necessarily a good argument because, listen, he might have been a smidge worse. You're
talking about not counting his bantamweight career. We don't really count his bantamweight career. Where do you get the idea that he was past his prime? About the featherweight
Where's your proof?
Bantamweight is irrelevant. We're talking about the featherweight goat. Who is the featherweight division?
Shitty performances. You know Jose Aldo, after he got beat by Conor, after he got beat by Max Holloway, had a ton of good performances. That to me is a sign that, hold on a second, I don't think this guy is past his prime. Not that much, at least. He's still pretty damn solid. And if a guy is pretty damn solid and not completely over the hill, you're damn right I'm going to count that towards their legacy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And
so what I'm trying to say is I don't think that the only thing you should look at or the only thing you should use as an overwhelming argument is your title reign. I feel like
you see what Sonny just said in the comment section. He said, "But it's featherweight GOAT." I've been trying to say this, but
I understand it's featherweight GOAT. But hold on. If Jose Aldo were to lose to all those guys and then still go on like a 10-fight win streak, right, in the featherweight division, I understand he would get the belt back, and we'd all be saying he's the GOAT or whatnot. Let's say he never got the belt back, and he gets like 6 wins in a row, and he starts fighting all the top contenders: Ilia Topuria, Arnold Allen, Yair Rodriguez, and he starts beating them all. And Volkanovski is where he is right now. He beat Max Holloway 3 times. I'd be saying, dude, Aldo's the man. Like, look at all these wins.
I think this will be my final point. I think Volkanovski is on his way to becoming the featherweight GOAT, but just not enough title defenses. There's not enough. You know what I mean? I think I felt like Usman was about to pass GSP and then he loses. So there's just not enough for me at this point to call Volkanovski the featherweight GOAT. Listen, I'm the guy who's saying Jose Aldo right now is still the featherweight GOAT. You're not. I just feel like if you want to be cut and dry, I feel like you're wrong and I'm right.
Okay, but I feel like, again, once Aldo lost to everyone in contention when he was still young and he was still good, so I think that I'm right. But my question to you is, does Volk have to match him?
I'm not going to wave the white flag because I'm not wrong in saying Aldo is still the featherweight GOAT. I feel like Volk is on his path, but there's just not enough title defenses. I don't feel like he's had the better title wins. I mean, you look at his wins outside of Holloway, it's just Ortega and a way past his prime Korean Zombie. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're just wrong in saying Volk right now
Ortega
is the featherweight
actually
GOAT.
A decent title.
You can say he's on his path to being the featherweight GOAT, but he's not.
No, but I'm just saying that Ortega actually is a good title defense if you're going to compare it to Aldo's. Ortega would fit right in with all of those guys that Aldo fought. Yes, I agree Aldo would beat him, but he'd probably be one of Aldo's toughest tests. I mean, it's true. And hold on, when is Volkanovski going to be, in your mind, someone that can be called the featherweight GOAT? Does he need to match Aldo on title defenses, or does he need to come, 1 fight away, 2 fights away?
So if Volkanovski beats Topuria, starts beating all these guys, beats Movsar Evloev, if he matches Aldo's title defenses, I'll say he's the featherweight GOAT. He doesn't need to pass it, he just needs to match it, because by the time he matches it, he probably will have the better wins and whatnot, because just different eras, and the fighters of now are always going to be better than the fighters of the past. Listen, I don't know why the chat is making fun of me and all that. A couple people are saying I'm right, but a majority of the chat is making fun of me. I feel like I'm actually bringing a debate, not just one of these guys that
you are bringing a good debate. I appreciate the debate, and again, I disagree because Aldo got smoked by everyone else in contention, and this is one of the only GOATs that has actually had the privilege, or in our case, the misfortune of fighting the other guys in contention while he's still young. And I just can't say that Aldo is the man when he got smoked by Max and he got smoked by Volk himself. And so, I know Volk is better, and Volk also smoked the guy that smoked him 3 times. And, Volk also has the Chad Mendes win, and Volk has that Ortega win. And the TKZ win is a free win, but at least he beat his ass the way he should have. And I understand what you're saying, but Volk's just so dominant that to me, it's not all about the title wins, because when you have no losses, I'm a ratio guy. I look at the ratio of wins to losses, and there's just more nuances than just, look at his reign. Like, the guy lost 4 times and he got smoked in every single one of those L's. And Max Holloway has 7 losses. Like, I'm going to count your losses in the featherweight division. The only time I just feel like you can't call Volk the GOAT right now, because he's 25-2 right now. He's about he's about almost where Aldo was before he started falling off. So it's just, Volk is still fighting. We don't know if he's going to lose to Yair. Are you going to call Volk the featherweight GOAT if he loses to Yair? If he loses to Yair, that ratio is worse, because 10 wins and 1 loss, that's not so great. Aldo at least has 15 wins? Yeah, I mean, the 10 wins, that loss is going to make Volkanovski's featherweight legacy way worse, because, again, he only has 10 wins compared to the other guys that have more. So I will think twice about it, because in my opinion, he just passed Aldo with the performance over Max. If he had a very close fight with Max last time, I would have said, yeah, Aldo, maybe Volk needs 1 more. If he loses, I'm going to say no, he's not the featherweight GOAT. not losing at this point when he's coming off of the Islam win. He got beat by a better guy. He ain't the featherweight GOAT. He finally has that loss. I think Volk has that aura of invincibility right now. And that's another reason why I rate him so highly, because of the dominance. But if Yair goes in there and smokes him, yeah, that one loss is going to bring him down for sure, because he doesn't have 20 wins, to deal with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, I'm going to get the guy in here. Okay. Shout out to MMA Prodigy. Check his channel out. Just look it up. MMA Prodigy is a good channel as well. So I appreciate the debate. Once again, man, I'm going to get the next guy in.